MV3 Traders Futures Trade Radio is brought to you by the Ultimate Trader's Guide, your one-stop shop for the most valuable income-producing information on the internet. Go to ultimatetradersguide.net to learn more. Link in the description below. All right, what's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Mic check, mic check. All right, sounds good. All right, so I just wanted to jump on here real quick on this holiday. I don't want to take up too much of your time. This is something that I've actually I've had in the back of the mind for a while, so I figured today would be a good day to go ahead and get this topic off, or this trigger off. Since there's no trading today, you know, I know for a fact a lot of you have been told by people that you follow that today is not, even though the futures market is open, that, you know, this is not a day that you want to be trading. And, you know, that's sound advice, because you can look at the chart here and see that not much has happened, right? Yeah, the futures market is open. The equities market is closed. You know, the New York Stock Exchange, that's closed, but the futures market is open, but not, you know, it's not much action going on, right? But anyway, so get into what I want to talk about today. You know, today is the U.S. holiday, Thanksgiving. You know, for anybody that celebrates that, happy Thanksgiving. But I kind of want to talk about, so something when I scripted, not kind of a script, I put some notes down for what I want to talk about today. But when I woke up this morning, the concept of giving came up to me. And a lot of times you'll hear this, you know, the saying or the song, you know, give and it'll come back to you. Now, a lot of times when people say that, when they say give or come back to you, a lot of times they're talking about money. But it hit me a long time ago, or when I had the idea a long time ago, where it's not just about money, right? Because I was raised in the church, right, as a Christian, and you hear that all the time. But they'll be doing that for, you know, tithes and offering, right? And it just kind of, you know, that thing kind of played in my mind a lot about giving, and from the way that I was taught about it in my earlier years, it always was directly related to money. But you have more than money to give. So, you know, however that whatever you're trying to give to, understand that you can give much more than just money, right? You can give your time, you can give information that you have. I've given a lot of information, and I've had a lot of really valuable information come back to me. So, you know, I just wanted that touched me this morning is when I woke up on the concept and the idea of, since we're being thankful for the giving, right? On this day, you got a lot of people giving energy to that. Just, you know, there's more than one way of giving. You can give whatever that you have. Everyone has something. Everyone has something to give. If it's nothing more than just your time to help someone out do something. And then also on that note, you know, your intention also plays a role. Now, I'm not saying that if you have the intention to specifically get something back, that's, you know, you're going to completely, you know, void that whole giving and come back to you type of thing. You can still get it, but it works better when your intentions are pure and you're actually giving because you want to help, right? So I just want to touch on that before I get into the main topic today. And on that, there's a quote. Let's see if I can pull this up, that I heard the other day. That is definitely not it. All right, whatever. Thought I saved it, but I didn't. Or maybe I need to change it, but I'm not going to go through all of that today, or right now during the stream. There's a quote that I was watching, you know, a 7 Bomar video, and he said, To be in a position to give is an extremely powerful position. Some are always looking to receive, but to be in a position to give, that means you got it already. Now, he didn't say already, I'm adding the already part, but that means you got it. So if you're trying to, if there's a lot of people, I'm not going to be specific here, I'm going to be vague. There's a lot of people that like to do what they call giving because they're trying to get something in return. But when you're truly giving, or if you want to be more powerful with your giving, right? Or when you're more powerful in your giving, you're more powerful with what you give when you come from a place of abundance, knowing that you already have whatever you're trying. It's nothing that you're trying to receive because you already have it. You're just giving, right? If you have someone that's extremely wealthy and they just hand out money to people, not really looking to get anything, they just want to help other people. They, like, for instance, a lot of those Mr. Beast videos where he goes and he just hands out money to people and he just gives money and material things just to make a video, right? But he's just giving money freely, and he constantly gets it back to him. But just from the perspective, from looking at it from the outside in, right? You can kind of see that play out to where he appears to be genuine in how he gives. And because he already has a lot, he has an abundance of all the work that he put into YouTube and into his business of creating media and creating content, right? So it's not really a thing about what I'm gonna get back. I have it already, so let me give it, right? So rolling on again to the topic for the day of gratitude. So I want to focus on this gratitude thing, right? And this word gratitude that a lot of people talk about. And a lot of times you'll hear this talked about, without getting too esoteric on this topic, because there's infinite knowledge and there's infinite information behind this whole, all of this. A lot of times you hear gratitude brought up within the realm of manifestation. And, when people talking about manifesting what you want, manifesting your dream life, whatever it is, part of that is there's a daily practice of expressing gratitude, right? So whether you're listing out the things that you're grateful for every morning or whenever you do it, and then you're being vocal with that and you're expressing that out loud, all the things that you listed that you're grateful for, right? Because you can write it, but to fully bring it into the reality, the vibration, you got to give it a vibration. You do that with your voice, and that brings that gratitude or whatever you're expressing vocally into the reality. So, right, you're going through your daily practice, right? And in the morning you get up, let's say you write 10 things down that you're grateful for. You speak out loud those 10 things that you're grateful for. You may meditate, you're in your positive vibes, you're feeling good, you're feeling great. You go do what you do, and then you start to live the rest of your day. You start to live out the rest of your day. So you may go and you may turn on the news. You may meet up, or call some family or friends, and they want to discuss, the latest hot topic of the day or whatever's going on in their life. Or you'll start to pick up your phone or pick up your mobile device or your computer or whatever, and you'll start to jump on social media and you'll start scrolling, going through everything in your feed on social media. You'll do all the things, right, that we do in our average day as we go, throughout our day, our regular, routines throughout our day. Now, all those things that I just mentioned, the news, conversations with other people, heavily, this is depends on who you talk to, but for the most part, we're talking majority here. I'm not talking absolutes. We're talking majority. Conversations with other people, and then, you know, your time on social media, all of these things carry a negative vibration just by the sheer fact of how they operate in relation to, you know, the infamous algorithm, right? Which, you know, that's a whole topic within, you know, within itself. But so let's say, like, for instance, the social media part of it, or the news, all of these things are built off the concept of the hot take. And a lot of times the hot take, or what gets the most attention, is something that's negative, right? And then, you know, you'll find yourself getting triggered by that stuff, and you'll find yourself interacting with that stuff and engaging in the negative side of all of that stuff. You know, even like for someone like me, I try to block that stuff out as much as I can, but if I get on social media for whatever reason, it's gonna come up in my feed and something's gonna trigger me, and then I'm gonna go, I try to, like, no matter what I do, I try to, you know, block all that stuff, and I try to, if it comes up, I go ahead and tell the platform not to show that stuff to me, but they keep showing it to me, right? So it's gonna come up. So you start interacting with that stuff, and, you know, start giving it some feedback, start returning some of that negativity into the atmosphere. Now, what do you think that's doing to my whole manifestation, or my whole gratitude, practice of gratitude, part of my manifestation practices that I started early in the morning, right? So forget about the universe for a minute. Let's just stick on you. What do you think? What kind of messages do you think that's sending to you when you started out positive? You started your day positive, but then you went into this environment that was full of negativity and was kind of anti-gratitude, right? You're sending yourself mixed messages. And with those mixed messages, that your body hears what you're telling it, right? Your body hears what you're. So let me go into a quick story, quick little story time. And it's a saying that I like to say to a lot of people when they express like some sort of, you know, their feelings about being sick or having pain or something like that. Well, I like to say that your body hears you. And this is, there's an experience I had. To avoid the triggers, to avoid the getting tagged, I gotta be vague in how I express this, right? Just to put that disclaimer out there. So 2 years ago, I think we all can relate to what I mean by 2 years ago. There was this thing, and I'm gonna refer to, you know, as that thing or this thing. There was a thing that happened 2 years ago, and, you know, there was a lot of hype around that thing, right? And it got to a point to where, you know, I'm still trying to talk to myself positive. Now, let me give you a little backstory before I get to that thing. Before this, you know, I grew up getting sick a lot. And then it got to a point to where, like, so my average used to be to where I would get sick at least like on routine, like almost on the schedule. I would get sick, you know, like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And then I got to a point to where I was getting diagnosed with hypertension and, you know, pre-diabetes and all that stuff. A lot of, you know, all the chronic stuff, right? And then I started, but the whole time I'm actually, because I had a motivation that I won't get into here to, you know, make this story too long, but I had a motivation to try to learn how to be as healthy as I could possibly be. So going through that whole process, it was years of looking up information and just giving energy towards being healthy. I finally got to a point where I basically cracked the code of, you know, human health and what my immune system needs to perform at its, you know, at its optimum ability, right? And this is through nutrition and also through how I talk to myself, how I talk to my immune system. Like, I literally talk to my immune system like it's another person, like, or really like I talk to my immune system like it's a military unit, right? Like it's a military. And that's what your immune system is. It's the military for your body. protecting you against, harmful viruses and all that stuff, right? Blah, blah, blah. So I got to a point to where I stopped getting sick like altogether. Like I used to have seasonal allergies, and I even like stopped having seasonal allergies. Like at most, what had happened now is if I get in contact with a lot of pollen outside of just the normal walking around outside, then I may start sneezing and whatever, may get a little runny nose for a while, but overall I don't get as affected from those seasonal allergies as I used to, or anything else that I was listed or diagnosed with being allergic to. So fast forwarding to 2 years ago, before, up to that time, I wasn't really getting sick at all. Like I can't even remember the last time I got sick before that. So when this thing happened, my wife actually ended up with the thing, and she got tested, right? The test results came up positive, and so she had it. And regardless of how much I was trying to also tell her your body hears you and blah blah blah, and we going through the metaphysical approaches of of how to deal with one's human's immune system and staying healthy. We have different views and perspectives on this whole health thing, but anyway, she ended up getting the thing, and so I kind of had to, in a way, to help her. I felt like I had to kind of meet her where she was, right? And so I went to the store and I got some supplements. We're just gonna call them supplements, and and then a lot of stuff to nutritionally deal with the situation. Now, at the same time, because I took myself there, I also started to tell myself that, well, let me take some of these supplements too, just because, all the hype around the thing, and then seeing my wife struggle with this thing. Now I'm also kind of started buying into it a little bit. And so I started to take some of the supplements too, just a little bit, just to kind of, I was telling myself I was giving my immune system extra support to be able to not, get affected by this thing because my wife has it. So time passes, she starts to recover, and then I start feeling symptoms. Now my symptoms were not that bad. They were super light, nothing like what I was hearing about. At most I may have some brain fog and maybe a little bit of headaches, or like I was like on the brink of having a fever but never really had a fever, and runny nose. Like it was just minor stuff really. And like this, but this is it's minor, but it's major because I hadn't been sick in in years, but leading up to this point. So then I kept leaning into that idea and kept taking the supplements. Now I'm sending passive messages to my immune system, telling it that it's not capable because I'm taking the supplements, and I've accepted the fact that I can actually get affected by this thing. And then I just got to a point, like a couple days went by, I got to a point where I just kind of snapped back into it, and I was like, what am I doing? I know how to, I don't really need these supplements because I know I already have the knowledge, and I know how to give my immune system the resources that it needs to do its job, right? And to do its job really well, because my immune system does its job really well. So once I got to that point, I stopped taking the supplements, and I started talking to myself, like literally talking to my immune system, to my body, letting it know that it's fully capable and all that stuff. And then the next day I started to recover. Now before that, like a couple days went by, I wasn't really getting worse, I wasn't getting better. But as soon as I snapped back into it and I regave the full power back to my immune system by giving it the proper resources and what I was telling it, then I started to recover, and my immune system got that thing on. It took care of the thing, right? So that is that a coincidence? Maybe. But what I do know is I haven't been sick at all since that day, or since that time. So the moral of the story is, your body is alive because you are alive, and it hears everything that you tell it. Plus it hears and it interacts with everything that's in your environment that you interact with. So, you need to, it helps to be cognitive, or to be aware of that as you go throughout your day, understanding that it's not just about, how manifestation is talked and about, the vision board and all this stuff. And you just saying you're just going through these routines of these practices of, I'm gonna be grateful in the morning, but then I'm gonna go and fill myself with a bunch of stuff that is counterproductive to all the gratitude and all the manifestation practices that I've been doing. And then taking it back to trading, because that's what we're here for, right? When I'm listening to people trade and I'm hearing them complain about, about how the market is slow, about how, the market makers are just evil, and they're about all the manipulation and about all the stuff, right? They're complaining about all the stuff. And I'm hearing them doing this and about how hard it is and all this stuff, right? They complain about all the things. And I'm listening to them doing this, and I'm watching them missing all the opportunities that I can see. Yeah, my experience does play a role in this, but I know for a fact that there are a ton of people that have more experience than me that should be able to see what I can see because of their experience and the kind of experience that they have, but they don't. And it's mainly because of what I hear them tell themselves from my, in my opinion, right? I'm giving this from my perspective. Now, this is not a black and white thing. This is not left or right. It's not an or thing. It's more of an and thing. You have one side and then you have the other side. Those are the extremes. And then you have everything in between, which is the reality. So, of course, they do, even though they can't see what I can see, even though they're the way that they are negatively speaking to their conscious, their state of consciousness and their subconscious, they still find areas to find they still find areas of success around all of that, right? Because, like I said, it's not black and white. There's a full spectrum of possibility, and success is subjective. So you can find areas of success, but in my opinion, if you want to reach your potential, whatever your potential, is, you really want to be cognitive of the things that you speak and the things that you allow yourself to interact with and engage with on a daily basis, right? And especially if you're going through these gratitude plays a huge role in that, but you can kind of offset the ability, the benefits of gratitude by everything that I just went through in this talk here. So, what's the point of me saying all of this? What's the point of me even going into all of this? Basically, if, you're not where you want to be, it could be helpful to measure your practice of gratitude, number one, and then observe how you are creating an environment that helps produce the best outcome for everything you have to be grateful for. So on that note, I like for this show to be interactive. I said I wasn't going to hold you up too long today. So to close out today's, trader triggers, I like for this show to be interactive. So I want, go ahead and comment, leave a comment with what you're grateful for. If you're listening to this now, you can leave that in the chat, or you can do it later. Once this is, posted, then once the recording is posted on YouTube, and for everybody that watches this later, comment with what you're grateful for. And for bonus points, you can even, add in how or what it is that you do to support that gratitude of what you're grateful for. And I am truly grateful for each and every one of you. I don't necessarily come on here and I don't have a YouTube channel, and all my stream or ways of putting out content, I'm not doing that for myself, because if it was just about me, you know, I would just be trading and making beats, because that's what I like to do. I like to make beats, and I like to trade, but I also like to share information, and I like to help others. So that's why I have this YouTube channel. 'Cause I mean, there's a lot of things that I do with this channel that is not really conducive for the kind of growth that most YouTubers are looking for. So I've kind of, in a way, you know, sacrificed a little bit on the front end, because, you know, I just gotta, because I'm not trying to be controlled by an algorithm or anything like that. I really, you know, put the stuff out because I want to help people, and I want to, you know, do the best. You know, I want to share the stuff that I have, because maybe it can help someone else, right? So definitely, like I said, I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Hope your day is full of peace and positive vibes. Until next time, trade it easy.